Okay, let's take a look at activation. Here is tooth number 19, or tooth 36, and here is our right ultrasonic insert. So if we take a look on the occlusal, you can see that it curves to the right. Therefore, we're going to take a look at the back of the bump, and we know that this is what is going to be against the tooth surface as we go subgingivally. And it's nice to be able to look at this model here because, again, so important to look at that 2 millimeters of adaptation and that concept of riding the anatomy and clinging to that pellicle 2 to 3 millimeters at all times. Once we hit deposit, we can do a little tapping motion, but basically it's going to be about a 2 to 3 millimeter overlapping stroke going into the furcation, like so. Important to have a methodical overlapping stroke. So if we're going to start here, we start our millimeter stroking and then back up again. We move over a little bit, 2 to 3 millimeters, down, and then back up again. Move over a little bit, being mindful of the line angles, and feeling as we go, assessing the terrain. If we encounter some deposit, we will tap at it lightly. And tap at it from different directions or different angles, as long as that 2 millimeters is with the tooth, that 2 millimeters of adaptation is there, then we're okay. So again, starting on the clinical crown, floating subgingival. If we hit deposit, we tap a little bit to engage, and then we continue our stroking. Again, when we get to the actual furcation, that is the beauty of having the back or the bump against the tooth, because you're not going to be too toe on. Let's look at what that toe on looks like with the incorrect insert. If we were to use the left insert here, we might be able to have 2 millimeters for a little bit of the ride, but pretty quickly we're going to have a toe on look. And when we're subgingival and we can't see, it's easy to get in that toe on position, and that's going to cause root gouging and damage. The reason why these inserts are very confusing to clinicians, because often they want to use it similar to a furcation probe, which we know is utilized like so. So many clinicians feel that the curved inserts should be used the same way. But as you can see, this could easily cause that toe on effect. So this left insert is actually meant for the buccal. Can be used toe up in the transverse on the lingual, but it is meant to be adapted into the buccal. Let's take a look at a maxillary molar. It's so important to remember our anatomy. It really is the third roadmap. We need to remember that palatal root, this palatal concavity. It's critical that our strokes are very small, very finite, in an overlapping approach, with 2 millimeters adapted. Not less than that, not more than that. 2 millimeters is that sweet spot. I'm going to move over a little bit, like so. If we were here and we encountered this calculus, we would tap at it from different angles, multi-directional stroke, tapping at that calculus, and then sweeping again to see that we got it off. So this is the lingual, tooth number 14, starting on the distal buccal, adapting 2 millimeters, and floating subgingival. looking for that 2 to 3 millimeters. Line angles, as long as you have your 2 to 3 millimeters, you're okay. And again, remember your anatomy. Remember where that furcation entrance is.